And a warm, warm welcome. If I'm not warmly welcomed you before, you've walked in sneakily in between. My name is Christian, if you didn't know already. I want to take you back to your childhoods. For some of you, that will be a lot easier than others. Some of you are still enjoying your childhoods, so that's nice there. But that's good. So keep enjoying your childhoods, people. Do not fast forward this part of your life. So let's just ask the kids first, actually, this question. Can anyone here, or just put your hand up, actually, let's get into school. Who has done something here that's made your parents, or even your teachers, say well done, or proud? Who has done that? We've got 2 people. Okay, we've got a few there, that's great. So you've got a well done. That's really good. You've got a couple of well dones. We've got a few well dones over there. Adults, you can join in at this point as well if you wish to do so. Yeah, okay, a few adults as well. Not that many adults. No, oh dear. Okay, have to change the preach. Right, okay. Can anyone tell me, we'll go back to the children, how did it make you feel when you got your well done? How did it make you feel when that happened there? Grace? It made you feel like you're good. Yeah, and you should, didn't it? You know, yeah, I feel like I'm good. I've done something good there. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else got anything for me there? Go for it. Proud. You felt proud of what you did. That's great. Anyone else got anything good to share? Go on.
Getting good grades with my Russian homework.
So I missed most of that apart from Russia. Go on.
Getting good grades from my Russian homework.
Get right, and how did that make you feel? Accomplished. Very good indeed. Right then, so that's great stuff. Now, okay, I'm going to flip it round. Who here has done something wrong in their lives? Look at you guys. Such a holy bunch. So some of you have, anyway, well done. And the rest of you will have a word later for lying. Because, yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. So what I did write initially, what are the things, tell me the things that you've done wrong that you've been told off for. We'll leave that to what are the things that other people have done, all right? Yeah. What are the things that other people have done and have been told off for at school or at home? Go on. Punching, kicking, biting. Yeah. That's not nice, is it? That's horrible. That's horrible. And I'm not saying you did any of that, but if you had done it, how did it make you feel inside? Right, okay. Wasn't the answer I was going with? Yeah, okay, we'll come back to, we'll come back to that maybe a little bit later. Go on, yes. Oh, right. So that happens, doesn't it? Yes, yeah, that's very true. Grace? Someone called your name. Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice when things like that happen. So people do things that, now, a lot of people, when bad things happen to them, or when they do bad things, they feel guilty afterwards, which is where I was going from you. You didn't give me guilty. It's fine. It's what happens when we work in this particular way. But I'm sure you'll all appreciate at this particular point, we all do good and we all do bad. Are we happy with that? Yes. Now, I have used these before, but these are things that we used to get at school. So this, if I get a green face, you've done some good. All right, John? So if I give you a green face, you've done some good. Yeah, you can be like, yeah, I've done some good in my life. If you get a red face, that's bad. All right? So that happened at school a lot. You get green, you get red. I don't know if you ever had anything like that, some kind of thing at school. But you could have it at home as well. I don't know. We used to send our kids to the naughty stare rather than give them a red sticker. But we don't do that now. Much. Now, so... but that's where they're. So, but we are raised in such a way that we're taught that we can do bad things and we're taught that we can do good things. And we're taught that, well, as we're taught, the more good that we do, the better we are. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because that's how we start our lives. So we have this thought in our life that we have naught in the bad and naught in the good. That's the beginning of life, all right? So if you put that, that's pretty much how we all start. Is what a lot of people think. Do you agree with that? Oh, and this is like, I'm not using the right tone, am I? Because, you know, oh, he's going to catch me out in a minute. All I'm doing is, it's an opinion. It's not right, it's not wrong. This is how a lot of people think. It's fine, all right? It's not maths. So, bad stuff, good stuff. And a lot of people go, whip on, bad stuff, good stuff, 0, 0, and that's all fantastic. And we're raised thinking that that's how it works. But what happens to the scales if I do something bad? What do you reckon? I mean, I've got a woo. Oh. Yeah, is that what happens? Yeah. So you do something bad, and all of a sudden the scales tip. And I've got more in the bad stuff than I've got in the good stuff because I've just been biting, kicking, well, I don't know what it was now, but calling names, I remember that one. So different things. There were other people doing it, it wasn't you. I remember that part of it. So that's nice there. So what could you do? What could you do to make things better? Let's say you had done a bad thing. What could you do? Look at all the adults going, oh, please don't ask me here. What could you do at this point? Look, you've got a scale system going like this at the moment now. It should be straightforward enough. What could I do at this point to make it better? It's the same hands going up all the time now, guys. Let's spread it out a bit. Let's get other people getting involved. Go on. Oh, I was really hoping you weren't going to say that. It's a scale. It's a scale. So, yes, we'll come to that in a minute, but we're going to hope that no one heard what you said. Go on, what would you do? Yes, okay, I'm talking to the converted. Okay, go on. We can do something good. Yes, we can do something good. And if we do something good, then what would we expect to see happen? Yeah. And this is the way that generally it works for a lot of people. The scales should balance. This was certainly the case at school. If a student did a bad thing, then, like, I don't know, they were late for school or whatever, they got a negative. Straight away, the scales were balanced in that kind of way. And then if the student did very, very well at school and, say, had good attitude at school, then the scales went back to a 0 and everything was fine. All right. Green face, everyone's happy. Well, the teachers were, and so were the parents, because that was fed directly back. So that's the way it looked. You look like you're doing all right. Okay, just make sure you're doing more good than you're doing bad. And as long as we're doing more good than bad, then everyone tended to be happy with us at school, usually parents as well, because it's our way of working out whether we're good people or not, isn't it? If you ask most people if they're good people on the street, what would they say? They'd say yes, because they would be thinking, I tend to do more good than bad. Yes? This is a fair point, isn't it? Yeah, they wouldn't be going, I say so. So that's generally the way it works for our minds. Now, in life, let's now make you all adults, okay? Sorry, children, but you're all adults. How does it work at that particular point? What scores a good point now in life generally? So we're now taking away from school and from being a kid. So we're being an adult at this point. So now adults, I kind of like need you to get involved a little bit more. Don't keep your head. There's so many people like looking at the carpet when I'm asking questions. It's like, do you know when people just feed up from the back first and then there's hardly anyone that sits at the front? I've not even got, where's Dean? Dean's always there. I can usually pick on Dean. So a good thing you could do in life generally that would score a good point on my morality scale here. It's still the kids. It's always the kids here. And it's great that the kids are going for it. Actually, I'm not knocking the kids here. But there we are. Joe! Do somebody's shopping for them. That's a nice thing to do. Very good. We're not knocking that, definitely. Do someone's shopping. There's a good thing. Yeah, that's not going to come up on the PowerPoint, but it's still very, very good. Anything else that you could do? Go for it.
Help someone.
Help somebody. Just be helpful. That's good. Being helpful is a good thing. Anything else that you would like to do at this point? Andrew, sorry.
Being kind to people.
Being kind. These were all the positives in school, by the way, as well, interestingly enough. Grace.
If
I like that. That's very nice. So just yeah, helping people find lost anything really, isn't it? Teaching people how to do things they don't know how to do. So there's a lot of good we can do, isn't there? I might just leave it here. All right. So these are all the good things we can do in life. What would score a bad thing? Adults. Speeding. Speeding would be a bad thing. All right. Any advance on speeding? Anything else that we're going to... Some people are giving me dirty looks here. Any advance? Come on, Ewan. What have you got? Drunk driving. Okay. We're going for the jugular here. Drunk driving. I hope that there's nothing in the Espats household that we need to be worried about. But have you just grassed somebody up? Okay. Bit of drunk driving, he mentions. I don't know why. Anything else that you want to go for here? Oh, come on, Helen. Yes. Lying. Okay, so we've got a few things that would go in the bad column. I'm going to leave it. I like the drunk driving one. Can we advance on drunk driving? Can anyone give me anything more on drunk driving? No? Okay. I think we could go for this a little bit. Anyway, right. So we got what gives us red, we've got what gives us green in school and when we're kids. But when you get to adults, it doesn't really change. I mean, obviously the severity of the things can change. But the Bible calls these reds sin, all right? And it's important because, as we've already said, we can often think that a good deed wipes out a bad deed. We can think that a good and a bad just cancel each other out. But life doesn't work like this at all. And if I get into, I've said this, an example like this before, but if I go out and rob a bank tomorrow, and don't worry, I'm not going to, but if I did, I couldn't go to the judge if I was caught and say, oh, come on, please let me off. I was kind to somebody yesterday. Yeah? He's not going to go, no, it's all right, that's fine, let's just cross that off then, because a bad deed cancels out a good deed. He'll send me to prison. Won't he? And if you do think that you'll get off a jail sentence by doing a kind deed to somebody, that will be, yeah. So, yeah, one good deed, one bad deed, still a red face, because actually it's not doing good that gets rid of our bad. Shocker. But it doesn't work like that. And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense when you start thinking about all the bad that happens in the world, then you can't just do a good to get rid of it. So anyway, if you've learned anything today, don't rob banks. That might be it. But just as it is in life, so it is with God. Okay, that's the way it is, and it's only fair. We've got this inbuilt justice system inside of us, and that's a divine thing. We don't want certain things just to be wiped off with a casual good deed. And one good deed doesn't work, or even a multitude of good deeds doesn't get rid of a multitude of bad deeds, because that's not how crime and punishment would ever work. We can't get right with God. We can't go to heaven on a basis of doing more good than bad, which sometimes shocks people, but it's not the way it's ever worked. And it doesn't work like that in life. It doesn't work that way with God. Sin means no heaven. It means no access to God. Red means punishment. It's just the way it is. It's like that in life, and it's like that with him. All our good deeds, however many we do, won't get rid of the things that remove the red. There's only one thing that removes the red, and we can't do it. We are completely and utterly unable to get rid of that bad stuff. But God can. When Jesus died on the cross, Jesus chose to take our punishment. When Jesus died on the cross, he put his massive positive into the middle of all of our negatives. And that was how he cancelled them out. So by putting that there, immediately, you are immediately made righteous. You are immediately made good as you trust in the cross of Christ, as you trust in what Jesus has done for you, as you trust in what Jesus has paid for. His death, that is, paid the price for all of our sins. And that there isn't fair either, but Jesus took it. And we can therefore live in that grace and say thank you very much because of what he's done, not because of what we've done. So we have a choice. We can either pay the price ourselves, or we can receive God's forgiveness free and live a life full of positives. Because Jesus' death brings an eternal relationship with God. This brings power to live a life of goodness and of love and of righteousness. It's full of hope and it's full of a future. And each of the people who are going to get baptized soon here are, well, they've already made that wise decision to embrace a wonderful relationship with God that lasts into eternity. It's a relationship that brings a new peace. It's a relationship that brings a new hope. And it's a relationship that brings a joy into our lives, where we can go through really difficult times with a supernatural strength. And Jesus himself got baptized. In Matthew 3, verse 13 to 17, it says the following: when Jesus went from Galilee to the Jordan River to be baptized by John, but John tried to talk him out of it. I am the one who needs to be baptized by you. So why are you coming to me? But Jesus said, it should be done, for we must carry out all that God requires. So John agreed to baptize him. After his baptism, as Jesus came out of the water, the heavens were opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and settling on him. And a voice from heaven said, this is my dearly loved Son, who brings me great joy. And it's God's message to each and every single one of you today as you get baptized. Baptism is about making a public commitment of faith. A lot of these people may have just done it privately so far, and now they're going public. And this is a massive, massive, massive moment. It expresses our identification with Jesus, his commitment to us, his work on the cross for us, and our personal commitment to follow him in return, where we live with Jesus not just as Savior, but also as Lord, where we choose to put him first in all of our life. And it's a command of Jesus for every single believer. So in a moment, I'm hoping they're all ready, we're going to baptize some wonderful people in age order. Is that right? Is that what we said? I hope you got that sorted out between you. So unfortunately, if you're watching online, this is where our transmission now finishes, and where the guys at the back